Hi everybody, it's Chris Frame here, and welcome to the fantastic Oriana. Now she's been in the news lately because she has just recently been sold and will leave the P&O Cruises fleet in August of 2019. But I was very fortunate to sail on board her just recently, and she's an absolutely fantastic ship. So let's have a look inside this fantastic vessel. So let's check out her cabins, and we'll go to B deck where the balcony cabins are found. This here is a standard balcony cabin. It has the bedroom there. It also has a separate living area, and you can close that off with the curtains that close over to give a bit of privacy, and you can see out to the balcony as the ship's alongside in Southampton. Also has the mirror, giving a sense of extra space. B deck is also where you'll find the suites, and so this is one of the Oriana's suites. And each of the suites is named after a famous P&O ship from the company's past. There's plenty of space there with a separate living and bedroom area. And of course it also has the balcony there with the two big windows, and one of them has a door that accesses out to the balcony. That's a nice way to travel. This here is one of the mini suites. They're also on B deck, and they're also named after famous P&O ships. So it's smaller than the suites, but still very comfortable. A large balcony and ample space there with the bedroom and the living area. Lots of P&O branded amenities too. Still on B deck, we can see a balcony cabin, standard balcony cabin, slightly different layout to the previous one I showed. And then on A deck we can see the ocean view cabin with the big square windows. Oriana also has porthole cabins down on F deck as well, and inside cabins throughout the ship too. So now jumping up to the top of the ship, and this is the spa facility, the Oasis Spa. It was all refurbished during the 2016 refit, and it's looking fantastic. It has this lovely wooden decor, the tiled walls there, and you can see there's the spa facility. There's also a sauna, a steam room, and it leads on to the gym. And I thought the gym was pretty well stocked. There was exercise bikes, cross trainers, rowing machines, and a weights and aerobics room here, which the crew were there to offer assistance for people who wanted to learn how to do the different weights and aerobics. Nearby is Al Fresco, which is a casual eatery, and that spills out to the Riviera pool, which is just aft of this area, and so people can grab snacks and then go and sit on a deck chair or enjoy being outside. Just orientating ourselves for a moment before heading through to the MEDINA room. Now this is a small lounge. It's also used for lecture venues and also for gatherings. This particular day it was set up for a small lecture, and it sits just aft of the crow's nest, which is the ship's forward-facing observation lounge. The interior of the ship is all very stylish, and she has these beautiful light fittings, and this is just a view of the forward stairwell. Perhaps the only exception to that stylish rule is outside of Chaplins Cinema, where they have these two statues of Charlie Chaplin. People either love them or hate them, and you can get a very wide variety of opinions on board the ship. I'm personally not a fan, but some people think they're great. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and it'll be interesting to see what her new owners do in this space. Inside though, it's a traditional cinema, and many cruise ships don't have that traditional cinema anymore, but the Oriana and also her sister ship, the Aurora, both have a traditional cinema, and this is also used for lectures during the voyage as well from guest speakers. Now, like all cruise ships, the Oriana has shops. These are situated around the atrium. There's two names. There's Emporium, which is for the chocolates and the goods and the travel trinkets, and then there's Knightsbridge, which is split over two levels, but you actually have to leave the shop to get from level 1 to level 2, and this is where you'll find all your designer handbags, jewelry, clothing, and everything that you'd expect to see in a duty-free shop. Now I'm up on deck, and this is Oriana's fantastic funnel. It's currently dressed in the current P&O livery of the blue with the emblem there. Most of Oriana's career it was wearing the beautiful buff yellow funnel colours, and the mast at the front of the ship with all the lovely flags flying. This view here shows you the Riviera Pool, and this is where the sail away party took place. And P&O, of course, is famous for its great British sail away, and on this cruise was no exception, and the cruise staff did a great job of getting the crowd involved. As we left Southampton, we passed by the Azura, which was also heading out on a cruise, and you can see her there also wearing the modern current P&O livery. And then stepping back inside and checking out Harlequins, which is the ship's nightclub, but it was also the muster station that I was assigned to for boat drill. And here you can see the stage and the dance floor. At the back of prom deck there is the Pacific Lounge, which is an alternate show lounge venue. So Oriana has a number of different lounge options, and on this particular view you can see the stage and also the terraced seating. So it's more of a cabaret type lounge than the big production shows, which is done in the main theatre at the front of the ship. This is a view from the aft deck, just looking out as Oriana leaves Southampton. You see an Isle of Wight ferry passing us by, and also the Azura in the background there. This is a really nice place to stand. And Oriana also has a traditional teakwood promenade deck, inspired by that on board the Canberra. And something that I thought was quite clever is on the top deck, the ship has both the teakwood deck on the inside behind the sheltered screens, but also has this walkway on the outside, so you can really connect with the ocean and the surroundings. And it's something that many modern cruise ships don't have, that traditional railing and deck there. And then this is also looking down over the stern and down the side of the ship as the pilot boat came through, all the way along that outer walkway there, and of course the view of the funnel. Back inside now, we're back in the atrium. As I mentioned, each of the floors had one of these court areas. This one's the Royal Court, and it also has the voyage sales and loyalty desk there for passengers wishing to book future voyages. And that was quite busy during this voyage. It was only a few nights, a short trip out of Southampton, but yet people still found the time to book their next trip with P&O. Also, if you're a member of the Peninsular Club, this is where you'd come if you wanted to find out about your status. Nearby there's Explorers, which is where you book your short tours. And a lot of the artwork still shows Oriana in her original livery. Now, let me know what you think. Do you prefer the old livery like I do, or do you prefer the new livery? Let me know in the comments below. And all the different tour options that you have for this voyage are all displayed here in Explorers. And then we have the Monte Carlo Casino, which is a relatively small casino by modern day cruise ship standards, but it offers the machines there and also tables for games in the casino for those who wish to partake. It leads through to Anderson's, which is a traditional lounge, and it's a feature on board Oriana that's very traditional. It has decor that looks back at the history of the P&O line. Of course, P&O having a very long and illustrious history, and it also is named after Arthur Anderson, who founded the line. Now we're standing at the Tiffanys Court, again another view of the atrium area there with the living wall. That used to be a waterfall, but was replaced by the greenery. And this is the Tiffanys bar, which is next to the Tiffany glass ceiling, which is really a very stunning piece of artwork on the top of the ship there. Very detailed design. And the whole area has a very lovely ambience as you look down the different stairway levels there, and all of the refreshed carpeting. This is carried throughout the ship. I really was surprised by how new she was, how new she felt. She had a very nice ambience, and we're walking now into the crow's nest, The carpeting choices and soft furnishings that were selected during the refit have really complemented the ship's different areas, and in fact she probably presents as even more well kept than Aurora, which I think very highly of. So I was very impressed by Oriana. It's probably the reason why so many people are so surprised that she's being retired, because she just looks so fantastic from a passenger point of view. Now we're at the very back of the ship. Oriana's got these beautiful terraced aft decks, and they lead down to the terrace pool, which has the view there over the stern of the ship. And of course all the real teak wood really gives her that traditional feel. Each of the levels has one of these terrace areas here that sort of juts out the back of the ship and gives you fantastic views as she's sailing along. Something that's really missing on modern day cruise ships are these beautiful deck areas, and so it's so lovely to see it maintained on Oriana and also Aurora. Now this is the Lord's Tavern, which is located on prom deck, and it's the ship's traditional pub. You can see the mural there that shows the Lord's cricket ground, and also just the different seating arrangements. We were actually cruising during the World Cup, and so they were playing the World Cup live in the tavern, and you can imagine it got quite noisy when England was winning. So here is one of the two main restaurants, the Oriental Restaurant, and it's accessible through these corridors at the back of the ship. This one is at the very stern, and it has a view over the very stern of the ship, so it gives that lovely view of the wake. And this is a set seating restaurant, so if you're allocated to this restaurant, you will have a set table, and that's where you'll stay for the duration of your voyage with the same companions and the same wait staff. The other one, the Peninsular Restaurant, has a similar layout, but it is designed to be an open seating restaurant, so you can turn up whenever you're ready, and you'll get either seated or handed a buzzer, which will buzz when there is space available for you to come back to the restaurant. Both of these restaurants offer the full service menu. Here's the Peninsular Restaurant. So we're now in the Peninsular Restaurant. It has a beautiful mural at the front of the restaurant there. And again, this one is the open seating arrangement, so you can sit where you want when you come for dinner each day. This restaurant is also the one that's used for breakfast and lunch. Another option here is the alternate dining venue, which is placed in the Curzon room. Now the Curzon room was one of the signature rooms on board Oriana when she was built, and so it's had a variety of uses, and now it's used here as a restaurant for the extra tariff passengers. But it has these beautiful fixtures and fittings, which make it quite stunning, and interestingly enough, they've still referred to it as the Curzon room on all of the ship's deck plans on board the ship. So the internal promenades also lead through these internal corridors to a variety of different rooms in the center of the ship on prom deck. This includes the card room, which we can see here, which is a large space, and it's dedicated to card games, and people can do lessons here as well, bridge lessons and the like. And there's also a very well stocked library on board the ship, and I was pretty excited to see our book, A Photographic History of P&O Cruises, in the library here on board the Oriana. So it's always nice to see that on one of the cruise ships. And in fact, I was on board Oriana photographing the ship for our new book, Oriana, A Photographic Journey, which will be out in time for the ship's retirement. And then this here is the Thackeray room, which is also used as a cyber centre, having been relocated from its old home up by the Crow's Nest. Now just another view of the stern of the ship as she's at sea with that beautiful wake. The Oriana really does make a beautiful wake as she's making her way between ports. And then in the evenings, the Theatre Royal is the place to go. It's Oriana's West End style theatre, and when she entered service in 1995, it was the first shipboard theatre with no obstructed views. And then at the front of the ship, there's an observation platform. It's accessed through this relatively narrow corridor between the two glass barriers there, and this gives you the view over the bow, and you can see down to the crew area there with the crew swimming pool. In fact, Oriana has 4 swimming pools. There's the cruise swimming pool, then there's the terrace pool, which is at the stern of the ship. In the center there's the crystal pool, which was the largest swimming pool on a ship at the time of the Oriana's introduction to service. And then there's the Riviera pool, which I showed you earlier in the video. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of Oriana. She's an absolutely fantastic ship. The footage here was taken in June of 2018, the same month that P&O Cruises announced the Oriana would be retired from service. She'll leave the fleet in August of 2019, and it is said that she's going to go to Chinese interests, but real information about which operator hasn't yet been forthcoming. Of course, the Oriana is much loved. Having sailed on her, I am a huge advocate of the ship. If you have an opportunity to sail with her before she leaves the P&O fleet, I strongly recommend that you try a voyage on Oriana. She's just beautiful and has a real classic, old-fashioned shipboard feel about her. And so to finish the video off, some footage of her departing Southampton, and it will be a really emotional day when she leaves for the last time. So please let me know what you thought of this tour of Oriana. Leave a comment below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and share this video.